how to do it. I mean, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but it's going to work out. But the most important thing, more than money, is that I'm happy. I'm happier.
Hi, welcome to Resonate, Conversations and Life Lessons from Rancho La Puerta. I'm your host, Barry. Today I'm really excited because this is the first live podcast where we actually have an audience that can ask questions. My guest today is an actress, Paola Núñez, and she is from Tecate, Mexico, right? The home of Rancho La Puerta. Yet this is her first week to ever be at the ranch. Like many of our guests, she is looking for a new purpose and a new passion in her life. So join us and see what that is. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm with Paola Núñez, right? And you are from Tecate.
I'm from Tecate, yeah.
You're smiling. Did I say your name wrong?
Yeah.
It's fine. Say it right.
It's fine. I'm used to it.
Tell it to me right.
It's like saying hola, but you put the pa.
Paola.
Paola. Yeah, Paola.
Paola.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
But thank you.
Perfect.
For trying.
So, and you are best known as an actress, but what's great is you are a native of Tecate.
Yes.
So you were born and grew up here in Tecate?
Yes. I was born here.
And so at what age did you leave Tecate?
I was 19. So I was always a misfit, I want to say. I was really shy and introvert little girl. And I felt that I needed to get out of here from a very early age. I didn't know why exactly. And then I found my way of expressing myself in a comfortable way was hiding behind a character. So I created characters when I was a kid. I had a bunch of characters, and that's how I would talk to my mom behind a character, or I would talk to friends, and I would love to make them laugh. So at school I was really bad. I hated school, of course. And then when I was 19, I decided to go to Mexico City and pursue acting. I didn't know if I was able to act. I didn't know if I was an actor. I just knew that maybe that was the path that I needed. It was more like intuition.
Right.
I've always been driven by intuition more than like.
So you go from down here, not up here.
And so I'm more.
A balance, let's call it.
Not
really.
Balance is not a way to describe me, but rational, I would think.
Okay.
And sometimes I have a conflict between those two. But so I went to Mexico City and I loved the city. As soon as the first day in the city, I was like, this is my place. This is where I belong.
So can we go back just a second?
Yeah.
So tell me, can you think of one or two of your favorite characters you used to play as a kid?
Yes, I had this character that was based on a night show with an actor, a really famous actor in Mexico called Veronica Castro in the 90s, and she had a late show. And she would
like a talk show. Okay.
And she would interview a bunch of people and actors. So I had this character inspired on her, and I would interview my cousin and my siblings, and that was one. And then the other one was inspired on this other show that was really popular here. It was every day was a different story about a woman. It's called Casos de la Vida Real, which means, how can I translate Casos de la Vida Real? Like real life. ¿Alguien ayúdame, por favor? Cases? Stories, real life stories. They were all about women, and they were all tragic. And so I was the host of the show, and then I would put everyone else to do the story, and it always had to do with kidnappings and murders, and I was always into true crime, I guess.
Did your family and friends play along with your characters?
Yes, some did, and then I created my own shows. I would call them shows, and then I would go to my neighbors and I would charge them to come and see us.
Wow!
And they would never come, but they would pay, which I thought was really nice. I was a little
It's
kid.
like 24-hour fitness. Just pay, don't come.
But yeah, I was like, "Do you want to come and see my show?" Of course, they were like, "Oh God, no! Please leave." So
you were getting paid at a young age to be an actor.
Yes.
So what was your first like? I read somewhere that you did theater at age 12.
Yeah, that's Wikipedia, which I don't know.
Is that in Tecate? Was there theater in Tecate?
That's not accurate.
Oh, it's not accurate.
I did theater here in Tecate, but I don't find that like professional acting. I did when I went to Mexico City and I studied acting, and then I started working as an actor at age 20.
Uh-huh.
And I started working on a show very similar to Casos de la Vida Real, which was the show that I was pretending to do when I was a kid. And so I was the one being kidnapped. And
what was the name of the show you were on?
Mujer.
Is it a telenovela?
No, it's not a telenovela, but it's similar. But just every day it's a different story with different actors.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how you would call that in the States. But it's same time, every day, same show with the host, and every day it's a different story with different actors.
Wow. Is that your breakthrough role then, do you think?
No, my breakthrough role, I started doing those because in my acting school, I didn't have to pay anything, but that's the way I would pay them, like working, doing shows like for free. And then I started, my first telenovela, I had no names. I was just girl one, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the second telenovela, I had a name, but I spoke like 3 or 4 times, and 70% of the time I was sleeping. My character was always sleeping. And
I could be an actor. I could do that.
I was 20. Yeah. I was 23, I think. 22, 3. Uh-huh. The acting school that I was in was part of a TV network. So they would prepare the actors that were gonna work on the telenovelas. I don't know if that makes sense. So I was at the school at the same time I was working for them. It's called TV Azteca. And then I started doing telenovelas, which in the 90s, it was late 90s, it was 2001, 2002, 2003. 2004, I got my big break. It was a telenovela called Amor en Custodia, which means love in custody. Uh-huh. No, it was
literally.
The story was about a spoiled little brat that falls in love with her bodyguard. Mm-hmm. But she treats him like
terrible
shit. Mm-hmm. And people loved it. And I thought she was terrible. I thought, because I was basing my character on the spoiled little brats in Mexico City, which I thought they were horrendous, and they had this horrendous accent. Mm-hmm. So annoying. So I was like doing what they were doing and speaking the way that they were speaking. Mm-hmm. And I thought the character was despicable. And people loved it. And moms would come to me and say, "Oh, my daughter is exactly like you, like Barbie." And I was like, well, that's not good.
That's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing. And it was huge. Yeah. I was 24. It was a phenomenon. I didn't expect it, didn't take it well, because I was too young, I guess, because I didn't know anything about it. Girls started to, because I had a weird haircut, so girls were mimicking the haircut. I had my character had a ring, a really specific ring. They were all buying the ring. They were like going crazy, obsessed with the story about the girl falling in love with the bodyguard.
Yeah.
And we were going, it was crazy. At that time we did you used to do the signing
autographs,
the autographs, and we went towards doing that. We made a lot of money on that,
Right.
on that soap opera. But I didn't handle it well because for me it was too much. Being an introvert, people think that all actors love attention. You know, I don't.
I think a lot of people that are extroverted in their jobs are introverted else. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people expected me to be the character.
Right. Yeah,
When I was walking on the streets, they were like, "Oh, Barbie, Barbie." My character was called Barbara, and Barbie, and they would get so disappointed when they saw that I wasn't her, right? Or that I didn't speak like her, or that I didn't. And then I had a bunch of like phrases and whatever, and they're like, "Do the phrase, do this." I almost felt like a little clown that I wasn't. That they were expecting me to do things for them. And at that time, I understand it right now. I totally understand it. But at that time, I was kind of being a rebel. And I was kind of being, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. And they would invite me to shows and like, okay, come, but as your character. And I was like, no,
Wow.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not. So I started to be difficult, a difficult actor. In the industry.
How long did you do that show?
So the telenovela lasted a year, and then they wanted to. Usually, it was written for 6 months, but because it was a huge success, they prolonged it in a terrible way because then it was just bad. People kept watching it, but everyone was saying that it was bad. You know how it is when you know that they should not continue like now, like season 2, season 3, season 4, you're like, you should have stopped at season 1.
Yeah.
And well, this is similar. They were the writing was so bad after, but we were still in it. We were getting paid more, but at that time, I didn't care. I didn't care. I just wanted out, and I just wanted out, and then I was like, this is not good writing, guys. So I went out, right? And they're like, no, what do you want? I remember I had this meeting with the producer, and he said, and I've never heard that in my life again, of course. He said, what do you want? Whatever you want. How much? Now I would give him a number. But at that point, I had this idea that I wasn't going to be bought. You know, and that you can't do that, and that they should know.
You almost have a moral compass, maybe.
Yes. So I said, I want out. I want to stop. And all of the actors hated me because they wanted to continue.
Keep going, of course. It's their livelihood.
And the soap opera ended. And after that, it was hard for me to get work because everyone was.
You were difficult.
It was because I was difficult, and because that's the only character that people wanted to see.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It'd be hard. Yeah.
So it was a little tricky after that, but then I continue working.
So how
people they see me and they go, Barbie.
Oh yeah.
Still.
Yeah. So now, how did you transition from, because you moved to LA and you got into the U.S. Hollywood scene and had some big movies there too. So.
Well, I kept working until I was like my late 30s in Mexico City. So I kept working. I did more telenovelas, and I was sick of telenovelas, and I did theater, and then I did movies. And then at some point I was like, well, there's nothing else here. And by then, it was 2015, I think, 16. You know, Mexico still, like the streamers were not in Mexico. Now, Netflix is in Mexico, Amazon is in Mexico, but that time you could only do telenovelas and movies, not that great movies in Mexico. Sometimes there were good movies, but most of them were not. And that's all you could do in Mexico. So I was terrified of moving to the States because I had to start from zero. And but then I was like, I've always been because being from a border town is so different from being a Mexican from somewhere else. People don't understand that. Yeah. You have this information while you're growing up. You have this bicultural thing. Like you were saying about Halloween, the Dia de Muertos was not a big thing for us. It was Halloween, or Santa Claus was Christmas. And I grew up watching sitcoms and Saturday Night Live and all of that. And that's what I wanted to do. Actually, I wanted to do comedy since I was a little girl. And so when I moved to the States, 2016, I think, I said, and then I was watching Breaking Bad at that time, and I said, and what's the network of Breaking Bad? AMC. AMC was big at that time. And I said, I remember thinking, maybe if I can do one episode at an AMC show, that's all I want. It's something in English, something. I'm gonna be happy with whatever. So I moved to LA, and actually I moved to Miami, and I did a telenovela for Telemundo, which I didn't want to do because I don't like Telemundo, because I'm a difficult actor. No, what I'm saying is I just don't like the style.
Right. Yeah.
But when you go to Telemundo, they give you the O1 visa.
Okay, I was going to ask you how you worked in the United States.
So
how did you learn English?
Watching TV here when I was a little girl, watching The Simpsons and Friends and Saturday Night Live, and that's how that's why everyone speaks English here.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Deborah says that's how everyone learns in Tecate, by watching American TV.
And we're pochos here, so but we're como se dice Spanglish. That's what we speak here. Most people. So, but when I went to Mexico City, you can't do that.
Right.
So you have to speak only Spanish. And if you say like Starbucks, or McDonald's, they want to kill you. They think you feel better than them because you're not supposed to say it like that. You're supposed to say it like a Mexican would say it, like a real Mexican would say it. Would be like Starbucks, right? Or McDonald's. But it's like
Paola.
But anyway, that's Paola. Exactly. Yeah. So I still struggle with that when I go to Mexico and I say something like that, and they're like, "Oh, Starbucks." Like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so you're in Miami. I'm sorry, I distracted you.
I went to the O1 means the O1. They give it to people that are like, that have like extraordinary talents.
Okay.
But that's how they get you to. That's what Telemundo does to bring their actors. But when you have the O1, then it's so simple to become a resident.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I did a telenovela with them. I was like, this is not my jam. Miami is definitely not my jam. I moved to LA, and then I became a resident. I got my residency, and then I started working. It took me a year to work, but my first show was for AMC.
And what was it?
It was called The Sun, a period piece. Pierce Brosnan was the lead.
Yeah, S-O-N, right? Sun.
S-O-N.
Yeah.
And I was the opposite of him, so I was the bad guy. And actually, he was a bad guy, and I was like,
right.
So I got to work with
Pierce
one
Brosnan.
of the most amazing, dashing, incredible, beautiful.
I mean, until now, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So
I look like a younger Pierce Brosnan.
No, he's amazing. And then
you had to get an agent to get that job?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hard to get an agent?
It is. Apparently, I thought it wasn't because it was so easy for me. So it's funny because it's funny everything that has happened to me, because when I moved to LA, everything happened in a way that I felt that it was easy. And I thought, I don't know why people complain so much about LA. It's easy. It's easy to get an agent, and it's easy to get a manager. But then. So
well, maybe it's the way you look.
No. It was, I don't know what it was. It was just something was happening for me, that it was just happening. It was flowing that way. But then
I don't think it's an accident. I think it's what you put out there.
Well, I don't know, because I was auditioning and I was getting callbacks and I was doing great. And even though it took me a year to work, but then everything stopped, right? And then I wasn't booking, I wasn't getting callbacks, and then I wasn't, and then I was like, oh wait, okay, so maybe it's not, so maybe it is hard. And then it was really hard. After that, it was really hard. And after I booked The Sun, I thought it was going to be better,
And was that a series, The Sun?
It was series, so two
seasons,
and it did well, but not that great for people to know who I was, right?
Right.
So it got canceled. Actually, Piers didn't want to continue, so at the end,
he was difficult.
He's definitely not difficult. He's adorable, but at the end, they had to change the story, and then I remember when they called me, the producers are like, "Well, I have two news. We're not going to have season 3 because Piers doesn't want to continue. But the good news is you're going to get to kill him." And I was like, really? I get to kill him? So yeah,
she got to kill him at the end of the season
yeah.
too. Wow.
And so yeah, and after The Sun, it was hard again to book. It's hard. I was getting many auditions. I wasn't booking any of them. I was hardly getting any callbacks and stuff. And that's when I started to struggle a lot also with just being in LA. You know, it's such a hard town. It just breaks you down. And it reconstructs you, but in a way that you had to get tougher. But I don't know if it's a healthy city. At least it hasn't been for me.
Well, when I moved to California for the first time and took my first trip to LA, it was the first time I'd ever gone anywhere where there's billboards about plastic surgery everywhere, and the pressure just seems so intense.
It is. The pressure is it's so triggering, especially if you're a woman after late 30s, like when I turned 40.
Okay, so now she has been alluding to her age. Happy birthday. She had a birthday here at the ranch with us this week.
2 days
and now,
ago.
Are you sensitive about your age?
Not at all.
So tell them how old you are.
47.
Okay, so that is crazy. And we're going to take a little sidetrack to what is it that you do for your skin and your health? Because, you don't look 47 or what we would think was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I started to spend so much money on treatments and lasers and they're so expensive, and especially in LA. But I started to get so overwhelmed because of the pressure to be young. The roles are not there anymore. The pressure it's so much pressure. And I'm like, I guess I have to do the facials, and I have to do the Botox, and I have to do the movies, and I started doing it all. And it only brought more anxiety and desperation, and I kept working after The Sun, the second season of The Sun. I think maybe 6 months. Those 6 months of not booking. You have to keep in mind when you're in LA, that's all you talk about. That's all everyone talks about, right?
Yeah.
You go for a hike, and that's all the conversations that you hear on a hike are about producers and you hear the conversations, and you're
industry
you can't get away from the industry, and you always feel that you're not enough. That you always feel that you're not young enough. That's the sensation for me. So it's hard, and I was getting into this thing of trying to look younger, trying to just stay fit. So I was obsessing about my body also, which is not healthy. I was obsessing about my body, hating it mostly, hating it, going to a really expensive gym because that's where you have to be at Equinox.
You need to be seen,
You need to be seen, and going to, and then that bullshit. And then I booked, what did I book after The Sun? Maybe you have it.
Is it The Purge?
Oh, The Purge, where I met my lovely Italian stallion.
We'll call him her significant other.
but no, actually before that was Bad Boys.
Yeah, so that was a really huge movie. Yeah. So how did you get, it was Bad Boys for Life, right?
Bad Boys
Will
for
Smith.
Life. So I auditioned for Bad Boys, didn't want to audition because most of the times I don't like to audition for cops or detectives, but those are the auditions that I always get. They always want to see me for a detective or a cop.
Yeah. Is it because of what the mean girl you used to play?
It's like how it looked like the Latina cop seems like badass and strong and no nonsense kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I don't see that, but okay.
Well, yeah, apparently that's what I give in my auditions, my self tapes. at that time they were still auditioning in LA, so you would go in the room to audition. And I was doing good. I think I'm good in the room. I'm definitely not great in self-tapes, but well, self-tapes happened after COVID. And so I go in the room, I do the audition for Bad Boys. I never thought I was going to get it because I was auditioning for Will's ex-girlfriend, right? And I was like, me? No, never. And then I got a call back. I was like, really? Me? Never. And then I got a chemistry read, which is that you go and you read with the main actor, in this case, Will. And I had an experience with him before that really helped me to break the ice.
What happened? Did he slap you?
No. So many years before, when I was in Mexico City, I went to this trip to Cabo with my girlfriends, and we were staying at this really private villa hotel, and then we were topless, right? And we're
as you would be, of course, yeah,
because it was so private. And then all of a sudden, because it was me and like my girlfriends were more famous than me. They were like really, really famous. It was like 4 or 5 of us. I was the least famous, I think. And then one of them was like, "Oh my God, I can see a boat and like a big
telephoto lens."
And we were like, whatever. We went in, and we called reception, and we're like, there is someone taking pictures of us. And they said, do you know who's staying next to you? Will Smith is staying next to you. Believe me, no one wants to take pictures of you. And then that night, I went for a run. When I was coming back, I saw Will.
Did you talk to him?
I did.
Oh.
He doesn't remember, of course, but I did. I was like, hi. And then he was like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here with my girlfriends. That was a 30-second conversation. I was like, oh my God, right? But then the next week, of course, centerfold our boobies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What magazine is that?
And I thought that was really funny to tell him.
Right.
So when I met him, that was a good way to break the ice, because I said, well, you were staying at this hotel and they said that you were more important than us, but guess what? Boobs trump Will Smith. Our boobs trumped Will Smith. And he started laughing. And then, I felt we had this chemistry. They said that when I got the role, and then the director said, you were the only one that felt that you were intimidated by Will Smith.
That you weren't intimidated.
That I weren't, because then we were improvising, and I was like digging, I was making fun of him and stuff, which they didn't. They said, all of that, all the improv, put it in the movie, but then they didn't want it in the movie. Yeah. And actually, you know how it is. They edit out most of the women roles. In those kind
Hopefully
of movies.
that's changing. I'm hoping it's going to change.
Not on those action movies. Yeah. But still, I'm really grateful for it, because he's the producer also of the movie. So he was the one who decided that I was going to be in it. And it was amazing. It was, but then we were at the premiere of Bad Boys, then the pandemic hit. Weeks after the premiere. So I feel that the whole thing, I couldn't ride the wave of being part of that amazing movie, and then the pandemic.
Right.
So at the end of the pandemic, I did Resident Evil, which was supposed to be an amazing big show also for Netflix that we shot in South Africa, and then that came out, wasn't what Netflix wanted numbers wise. So they canceled.
Was it one season?
It was one season.
Yeah, but I mean, I've heard of that show for sure. So
yeah, I had an amazing role on that one too. But I was like, okay, so that's how it is, right? Yeah. And then after the pandemic, there was no auditioning anymore. You have to send your tape, do the scenes by yourself, and send the tape. And then what happened is it opened up like a sea of now everyone can audition, because before you would get in the room, you would have the specific time slots. You would get in room. They wouldn't see everyone, Now everyone can send their self-tape. Yeah. So you send the self-tape, it feels like you send it to like a sea of self-tapes, and you don't even know if they're gonna watch the first 5 seconds, because they just can't keep up with all these self-tapes. And then I had a big agency and then the strike, the actor strike happened. During that, it was horrendous. It felt like a second pandemic. And Bad Boys for Life. No, Bad Boys Ride or Die came after that, thank God. And a few other roles, and like The Fall of the House of Usher, which is a horror director. I love that director, and I wanted to work with him, so I got to work with him. And a few things have come after that, but I feel that we haven't really recovered from the actor strike.
Hi, my name is Osvaldo Nieto. I'm the PR and Communications Director for Rancho La Puerta, and I've been part of this family for 8 years now. I'm enjoying today's conversation with Paola Núñez because she's a local talent. She's born and raised in Tecate, and she's a Hollywood actress and a beautiful human being. So now she's really active in town, helping animal wellness.
I hope you're enjoying today's podcast as much as I am. To learn more about our wonderful presenters and exciting weeks coming up at the ranch, go to rancholapuerta.com and check out our events calendar. Make sure to mention the podcast when making your reservation to take advantage of a special offer. Some restrictions may apply.
And something that has happened to me the last 4 years of my life also, it's been really interesting, and I feel that it's not the reason that I'm here at the ranch. And after listening to that talk with you and Deborah, opened up a way, or it clarified why I'm here, because you were talking about purpose, right? And I feel that acting has been my only purpose for my whole life. That's all I know how to do. Actually, when people say, well, you should start producing your own stuff, or you should do this and write, I'm like, I wish I had all of those talents. I just don't. The only thing I know how to do is act. And during these last 5 years, I started losing my love for it. And I don't know if it was also the industry, how it has changed with this whole influencers. Your value is depending on your following and who you are, and you have to expose yourself more in order to get that attention. And me being an introvert, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And it has shifted to something that I feel that my heart and my soul is looking for something different that I've always had there, but I just wasn't giving the attention that I wanted.
You were being too rational.
I was being too egotistic, And I think when I talk about ego, I feel that all actors have a huge ego, right? And ego has the more famous you are, is not that you have a bigger ego, is that the more insecure you are, I feel.
No, I know.
Now that I've met so many like big shot actors, they're all the same, and I can sense that they're so fragile and they're so insecure, and I don't want to be there. I don't want to. That's not where I want to go. And I know that, and I know that's not going to make me happy. But I keep going there like a horse, right? Like one of those.
Well, it's habit.
Because it's almost like, well, this is the only thing that I know how to do, and this is the only thing that makes me valuable as a person. Like, I am Paola Núñez, the actor. Like, if I'm not the actor, what am I? Right? Who am I? What am I? I have nothing interesting to give. I have because acting is such a flashy profession for people. They always go like, oh, what do you do? I'm an actor. Oh, right?
I mean,
so I feel that if you don't say that, you're like, oh, okay. and then you don't have anything interesting to say.
Yeah.
But it's also your ego, right? Because your ego is telling you, well, if you're not an actor, what are you? Or what are you? You're a loser if you're not an actor. But so yeah, I was telling Barry, and Osvaldo knows this too, that I'm following my heart and my soul, which is helping dogs.
Yeah.
I always wanted to work with dogs. I always wanted to do something with them, help them. Here in Mexico, it's a big crisis. Stray dogs are a crisis. There's no education there's no consciousness about spaying dogs. People have really wrong ideas about it. They feel that, if you don't neuter or spay your dog, if you do it, they're going to get sick, they're going to get cancer, or you have to do it after they have one
litter,
or things like ideas that are so not true. Not only that, people still have this idea of buying a dog instead of adopting, and so all these new things that I want to bring to and create more consciousness. It's just Mexico is so different from the States in that sense, right? There's so many stray dogs. I don't know if you've seen. Well, you don't go to Tecate.
If you go out in Tecate,
if you go out in Tecate, you're going to be amazed at how many, and people don't even look at them. It's just like they're part of their day-to-day. They don't even look at them. And you see so many dogs injured, pregnant, dying from like hunger. And, I've been doing everything. When I started visiting here, my mom, I would just go on my car and feed them and then I was like, I have to do something else. What can I do? I want to create my sanctuary. It's just, I needed to come here and just get closer to test it out. Like, how is the situation here in Tecate? So, I went to the president of Tecate, to the mayor, and I talked to him and I said, I'm really interested in like supporting and volunteering at the animal control here in Tecate, so because I really want to work with them and to give them visibility because they have none. The animals that end up in animal control end up dying there because nobody knows that they are up for adoption, right? And they don't get, usually when the ones that end up there is because they were taken from someone that abused them. And someone reported the owner, so they grab the dog and they put it in animal control, but they don't it's just from one shitty life to another in a cage. And they're depressed, they're suffering. And
how long you been doing this? How long you been?
So on October last year, I decided I'm going to do it. So I came and I started working with them, and I created this volunteering group. So every Saturday we take them out for a walk, and then I came to foundation, La Puerta Foundation, and because they have so Parque El Profesor is just next to us, to where the animal control is, and we used to walk them in front, which is just an ugly lot. And that's how I met Osvaldo, and I said, can we take them out in the beautiful Parque El Profesor? And he said, of course. So now every Saturday we walk them we do the hike with them with the Parque El Profesor, and they're so happy because they don't go out, never. So every Saturday now we do that. And then we take pictures of them and we post them on our Instagram. I created an Instagram for them, and we look for their forever family. And also we are doing events, adoption events. And then I did a spay campaign and vaccination campaign. But it's just a start, right? It's like, now that I'm more committed to that, I was telling my mom a few days ago, I was telling my mom, Mom, I think I'm going to quit acting. And we were crossing the border. Just so funny to me, because my mom is such a old-fashioned Mexican Catholic mom. And she's so proud of me being an actor, and she's always like what are you going to do next? Tell your agents. And now that I'm working with dogs, she's like, when are you going to go, back to acting? What are you doing here? Everyone's asking me. And so for her, it's so important for me to continue my, and I know that. So I was like, I have to have the talk with her, because she said, have you talked to your agents? We were on the car and she's like, have you talked to your agents? And I said, well, yeah. What did they say?
Right.
And I said, Mom, we were doing the lines across the border. I said, I don't think I want to be an actor anymore, which is really hard for me to accept and to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Because of what I said, the ego thing. And she didn't say anything. And I continued my monologue. And I said, acting, I've been doing it for all my life, 27 years now. Thanks to acting, I have what I have. And I've had a really good life. I've traveled, I've met a lot of people. It's been fulfilling. But the last years, I felt empty. It's been creating like a hole that I don't know how to fill. And I feel that my soul and my heart is asking for something else. And how I love animals and I love dogs. So this is what I have been doing here. Because I rescued a mom and 12 puppies. And I kept them at her house because I don't have a house here. So I kept the 12 puppies at her house with the mom. And it took me 2 months to find them homes. And my mom thinks I'm crazy. My mom thinks I am going crazy, basically. She doesn't understand my love for animals. She doesn't understand.
Wow.
She doesn't get it, right?
Well, I think parents just want to make sure that we're okay and that we can support ourselves, because they're not always going to be there. So it could be that, she's afraid that,
she's definitely afraid.
You're not going to make any money taking care of dogs.
That's exactly what,
Right.
But it's funny because then I was like, but then I was trying, according to me, it was a great speech because I said,
What character were you being?
this is the loving daughter.
Okay.
That's good as I can do. And then I was like, my heart is not there anymore. My heart, I feel more I felt, and this is right, I felt more satisfaction when I saved those 12 puppies and I gave them a home, a family, than when Bad Boys was premiering. And I know that that me being an actor is really important for you, because she's always saying that people are asking her, what is Paola doing now?
Because it's part of her identity, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I said, but I want you to know that this makes me happy. This fills the void. This makes me happy. This is what I want to do.
Okay.
Silent. And I was like, well, she's processing. She's going to say something. So we crossed the border, and then I was like, and I was like, she has to say something.
Right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, nothing. We get to San Diego, nothing. And then the first thing she opens her mouth, comes out of her mouth is, you should plant those trees in your Airbnb. Those are nice. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's so hard for her to just process what I told her, just totally avoidant to what I was saying, because she can't fathom a life. And that's when I understood why it's so hard for me also to get away from acting, because I know it's so important for her.
Yeah, no,
and I want to please her, and I want her to be proud of me. And I know that she's not proud of me doing the animal work. She's not. If I'm an act, if she thinks the same way, the way I think about myself is because of her. The way I don't.
Right.
I feel that I'm not interesting if I'm not an actor is because of her.
Right.
Because I was expecting to hear, as long as you're happy, I support it. As long as this is what you want to do, I'm happy for you.
Right.
I mean,
she might come around. You never know.
If this makes you happy, because then she was like, "What do you want me to say?" And I said, "That I want you to feel supported." And she said, "No, because if I say what I really think, you're gonna get mad." Because what she really thinks is she's not okay. She thinks I'm crazy and that I'm gonna die of hunger. And how am I supposed to
Right.
to work with animals. How am I going to support myself? And I said, Mom, I've been supporting myself since I was 19.
Right.
I've been doing okay. I'm not stupid. I know,
Right.
I know how to do it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it, it's
Right.
going to work out. But the most important thing, more than money, is that I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happier. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you were talking about purpose and being from Tecate and never being in the ranch. And now that I'm here, I'm like, there's a reason I'm here right now as a guest.
Just to talk to me.
Is to meet you because you're amazing. Meet all these incredible people. The guests here are, you guys are amazing. And they're all in the same, I feel that it's the same synergy or energy of like, when you go back to what's important, right? When you go, because you forget at some point what's important.
Right. A lot of our guests come here to realign with that.
Exactly.
For sure.
And you reconnect with, oh my God, this is what makes me happy now. And I'm in my hometown and I'm in this beautiful place surrounded by nature. And this confirms to me that yes, I have to pursue this calling of working with these dogs.
I read this recently, and maybe this will it makes me feel better that as we get older, not that you're as old as me, but that our ego tends to take a back seat and our purpose and our passion gets to get in the front seat. And I think that it's kind of inevitable. It kind of happens for all of us eventually. I don't know if they think that too, but I do notice that as you get older, you stop caring so much about what other people think and what other people think you're supposed to be. Because I think we've all got stuck in that trap.
It is a trap.
I mean,
a trap.
That's why I gave up,
What?
being a porn star. Just what was expected, So.
But you are though.
So now, tell us what. I want to ask you this other question because when you're talking about the dogs and stuff, do you think there's definitely a cultural difference? You're talking about your mom thinks. I feel like in Mexico, I don't want to oversimplify or say this for everyone, but it seems like there's a different idea of animals than there is in the United States. And how do you educate people about that?
Depends on where you go, because Mexico City is pretty similar to the United States. So
Right.
you go to Mexico City and you see and people are treating their dogs like family,
Yeah.
but not here. Little towns are less conscious about that.
Right.
Depends on the economy also of the town.
That makes sense.
So if you barely have the money to survive, you're not going to be thinking about the wellness of your dog, right?
Yeah.
Or you're not, it's just not a priority.
Right.
And dogs are not a priority definitely here. But not only that, the education, so people are not conscious about, the education here is lower than Mexico City, bigger cities. So like I said, people still have false ideas about spaying, about, or they don't feel that responsible about. They feel that they don't have anything to do with all the dogs on the streets, right? I have nothing to do.
Right.
But we all have. This is a consequence of us being not treating them like they're supposed to be treated, or being careless about,
Yeah. My best friend. One of my best friends is from Kenya. And so his mom came to visit. And of everything in the whole United States, the thing that freaked her out the most is that people would let an animal in the house and in their car. Because in Kenya, your dog is chained outside to keep the hyenas away from your stuff. And that's what they're for. And you treat them mean so that they'll be mean.
Yeah.
It's just such a different mentality.
Yeah. But it's important to notice that it's not all Mexico. It depends on which
and that totally makes sense.
Which parts of Mexico. Yeah, if you go to Mexico City, it's a pet-friendly city.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible, and it's full of pets, and it's great.
If you had some writing skills, you could make a documentary on it.
But I don't have any talents.
I know, but
told you.
But you'll find people that help you, because I can see that, because people know who you are, and you could make a documentary. You could.
Right now that I'm in this path, I've connected with really amazing people.
Yeah, of course.
Really
when you start doing what you're supposed to be doing,
totally.
doors open.
Like I said, just being here.
Right, yeah.
Just being here. And every conversation that I've have had with some of your guests is also like mind-blowing, you know? These women are incredible.
And a few of the men.
And a few of the men. I haven't spoken to any guys, so.
That's because that Italian stallion over there keeps his eye on you. Yeah.
There is just.
I can babysit him for you.
I think I'm good, but thanks. So yeah, it's been really gratifying.
Anyone have any questions for her?
So this is your first time at the ranch?
Yeah.
So they asked.
This is the first time
I have to repeat their
entered
question
the
because
ranch.
she doesn't have a mic. They asked if this is her first time at the ranch.
I've never been inside the ranch. Yeah. So this was a big deal for me. Big deal.
Do you see a possibility to do both acting and the animal welfare?
I feel that for me to do that, I would have to be. I mean, I would like to be in a point of my acting career where I just get offered roles, right? But I'm not. I still have to work for them. I still have to audition. It's a whole process that you have to be focused on that. So of course, if something amazing comes along, I would do it. But that's not really.
I'm sure
realistic.
this interview is probably going to get you a few offers.
I hope.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, of course, no, I'm not closing up. But I feel my energy is. You know, I feel that. When you're not, if your energy's not there, it's just not going to happen. That's why I feel it's not going to happen because my heart is not there anymore. So I feel that it's just not going to happen for me. So that's why I'm like saying, okay, maybe it's time for me to stop acting and focus on what my purpose now. But of course, if something comes up and they offer me like a great thing, I will definitely do it. I mean, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I had her comments, not so much a question, but I really appreciated that you shared about your physical kind of transformation, because as a woman looking at women on Instagram and television, and everything looks so flawless, and to hear the kind of inner turmoil that you're experiencing, because all we see is this beautiful product, and to and I don't think women talk as much about the challenges that maybe we're facing internally around maintaining the sense of youthfulness, the physical expression of youth, like beautiful skin that's snatched back very, very easily, all those kinds of things. So I really appreciated your being so forthcoming and honest about that experience. I wish more women in your position would share about that. It does create this disparity of like, unless I'm like you, I'm not beautiful. And then it falls into, I don't have as much worth, anyway.
I don't have as much worth and I don't have as much work because I'm not doing the things. And then all the conversation with your fellow actors are all about who's the best doctor to do I was already thinking about doing a neck lift. Yeah. And I was like, who's the best? Oh, this is the best. You should go to this and this. And that's all you talk about as an actor after like 30, right?
Yeah.
And that's so sad because at some point, either it just gets you into such a sad place.
Yeah, but I think that there's a little silver lining, because in the world population, the demographic of 65 and older is the fastest growing, and in the next 25 years, it's going to double. And I think as people start to age, hopefully our values are going to shift in this ageism thing, because there are going to be a lot less younger people and a lot more older people. And I like to think there'll be more roles for role models that are realistic and older people. So I look at Jane Fonda, and she's had some good work, but she still, talks about it. She's like, look at this, and I've got a prosthetic hand, it's like, or finger. So, I think we're going to see a shift. There has to be a shift because the majority is kind of rules, and we'll start to value that.
But now you have these women that nobody knows. The new talk in Hollywood is, what did Lindsay Lohan did, or
right.
what did she do, or to her face? So there's always some new procedure
to make them, yeah.
And everyone wants to have that procedure. I feel also when you're an actor, you're only focusing on yourself and your appearance. And
Yeah,
that is so detrimental, so detrimental. Me focusing right now on the dogs and on my new and everything that I want to do with here in Tecate, it has given me a place of just
To focus outside of
myself and my
yeah.
body and my face, because otherwise that's all I was focusing on, this and all the things that I wanted to do to look better, and my body and this and that, and it's just so exhausting
and
it's
superficial.
and because I don't have kids, so I always say that when you're a woman and you have kids, that's a good way to put your attention and love on something else, someone else, right? Your kids. But when you don't have kids, where do you put? And you're an actor. Where do you put? It's all about you and you and you and you and you. And it's horrendous.
Yeah, no, I get
It's
it.
horrendous. It's like it's toxic. It's really toxic to your mind, to your heart.
Right, yeah.
So that's why most actors are unhappy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Actors are unhappy. The more you know about them, the less you want to be like them or be in that position. Right. And that's why I'm like trying to get away from that and not focusing. It would be so nice not to focus. Even today, 2 days ago, we went to that talk of Today I Notice.
Yeah, I went to that too.
And we had to say something that we noticed that day. And I said, well, today I noticed I'm not focusing, I'm not being so hard on myself, on my body, right? When I looked at myself in the mirror wearing my bikini, I am so hard on myself. And I'm always thinking, you look horrible, the cellulite, this, no one's going to hire you, you're old and what. And now I looked at myself and in the mirror and I was like, I look good.
Yeah.
So, but those thoughts are never in my mind.
Yeah. Well,
so this is new.
I will tell you that in my 25 years at the ranch, one of the lessons that I've heard over and over and over again is that true happiness comes through service, of putting your energy outside of yourself and making an animal, another person's life better. It's what really fulfills us and makes us happy. So, that's one of the tricks of the ranch, I think, that helps people to see that.
So yeah, I wanted to ask if any of you are in that path also of purpose in this moment of your life, or something that changed your purpose, or what do you think you came to the ranch, or why do you think you're here, or you keep coming back?
When you have kids, because I had a daughter and I was a single dad, and so my whole purpose was her until she left. And then now you're finding new purpose, right? So it doesn't have, and acting was your purpose, and now maybe animal care will be one of your purposes. So it's okay to shift, because it doesn't have to be one thing for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you for spending this time with us today. And I look forward to spending more time with you.
Thank you, Barry, and thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My podcast today was so fun because I was live for the first time, and having a studio audience, it was really interesting to see what they were interested in and what questions they had. My guest today, Paola, was so fun to talk to. She was so authentic and easy to talk to. She has a successful acting career both in Mexico and in the United States. What's unique about her is she's a native to Tecate, Mexico, which is the home of Rancho La Puerta. So our staff was super happy to have her spend a week with us, her birthday week with us. I had a couple takeaways today. One was she was open to talk about how hard it is to age in our society. Especially being an actor, you're not supposed to age. You're supposed to do everything to make yourself look like you don't age. And our audience today totally resonated with that. They felt the same way. Another takeaway I had today was that she mentioned how people expect her to be the person that she's playing as an actor. But that applies to all of us. We all have roles that we play. I'm the fitness director, but that doesn't really speak to the core of who we really are. And people don't find out who we really are until they find out who we really are. Like a lot of our guests, Paola was here looking for a purpose. Who would she be if she wasn't an actor? For her, she's lucky she's found joy in animal well-being, particularly dogs here in Mexico. My wish for you as you find what lights your soul on fire, and then you share it with the world. Until next time, this is Barry wishing you health and daily joy.